African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another amazing session of the Daily African Proverbs. My name is Simon Javan Okello. It's been a minute since I was here on Clubhouse, and I took a long break. Not really long, but like a month. I have been focusing on the production of Madaraka Festival that happened in mid-August, August 13th and 14th to be precise. And, just yesterday, I began bringing these sessions again. I began, producing these conversations and recording them for the African Father in America podcast. And so as we speak, we are live on YouTube, and we are also live here on Clubhouse. Thank you, Lavenda, for joining me, by the way. I hope you are doing great. And thank you to Alton and Ayo. Thank you all for making the time to join us for this incredible session where we are going to dissect an African proverb and hopefully gain some wisdom from this proverb. Today we have a proverb from South Sudan that we are going to use as the center of our conversation today. I am in Seattle, Washington, by the way, and I'm from Kisumu, Kenya originally. And, whenever we gather here for these proverbs and for these discussions, I'm always excited because I know that, I am stabilizing myself mentally, but I know that I'm also bringing content that helps preserve our culture. One proverb at a time, we are able to help preserve the African culture, and we pass this knowledge on to our children, similar to how our own parents passed this knowledge on to us. So if you're listening on Clubhouse, I urge you to join us on the stage. This is just a 30-minute session, so it's going to be a short and sweet conversation. And if you're watching on YouTube, I urge you to, share the link to this live stream, but also in the comments, let me know where in the world you're joining us from. And the proverb we are discussing today is beautiful. It's also my latest Instagram post, and it says, "A child does not teach how to breastfeed. A child does not teach how to breastfeed." This is our proverb for today. I want to pin the link to the live stream on Clubhouse in order for everyone who is there to join us on YouTube as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is a good time for you to do that. And, when you think about this proverb, a child does not teach how to breastfeed. It reminds me of how in many, many cultures, breastfeeding is considered to be a very important part of, bonding between mother and child. It's considered to be a very important part of the development of the child. It's always a very intimate moment, just watching a child literally feed off of what the mother fed from. A lot of the time, we also realize that it's not the child that decides when they are going to be breastfed. However important breastfeeding is for the child, it's not the child that is going to dictate to the mother that you have to feed me now, even though the children, there are some children, I'm a father of 3 girls, so I've seen this. There are some children that they will always want to be fed when they want, and sometime even in the midst of a meeting, children don't care who their mother is. Like the UK just nominated a female prime minister, but let's say she had a child, the child would want her to breastfeed him or her, even in the midst of a cabinet meeting. If the child can reach their mother, one of the first things they'll always say is, I want you to breastfeed me. And they will demonstrate that by their actions, But it is the mother who calls the shots, It is the mother who decides when breastfeeding is going to happen. So there are 3 takeaways that I want to share with you all who are listening and watching. The reason actually why the Daily African Proverbs is shorter is because I'm also doing the Daily African Proverbs on TikTok. I'm trying to make the podcast episodes shorter, and I'm also trying to build an audience on TikTok. So instead of doing 1 hour on Clubhouse and YouTube, I just do 1 hour, 30 minutes on Clubhouse and YouTube, and then 30 minutes on TikTok, and I just recap the conversation that we had here over there, and I build an audience there. I'm intentionally finding ways and tricks to build my podcast and grow this audience that is important to me. So if you want to come and check out how I do this same thing on TikTok, you can connect with me over there. My username is still the same, Okello Javan, which I use across all podcasting platforms. But if you use African Father in America, you will easily find me also across all podcasting and social media platforms. Again, these are the 3 takeaways that I want you to note down before we hear from 1 or 2 of our guests who are joining us here on the stage. Number 1, first I want to actually just remind you what the proverb that we are discussing is today. It says that a child does not teach how to breastfeed. It's a South Sudanese proverb. And the first takeaway, the first lesson that I'm hoping you can take away after our conversation today is that breastfeeding is a natural process that should come easily. There should be no fight about it, and, as I was explaining earlier, if the child understands that, I'm always given this the moment I wake up, or I'm always given this in midday or at this given time, then there is a routine, there is a routine. So breastfeeding is a natural process that should come easily. This could also mean many things, this could mean an opportunity, an opportunity that you're seeking is probably something that you don't need to kill someone for, it needs to come naturally, you don't need to be, you don't need to lose your soul in order for you to, for example, in Kenya, we just had an election that was disputed and it ended up in the Supreme Court. But, there is no real celebration about the person who has been declared the winner. And, you can tell that something is not right somewhere. But again, as we know it, everything is for sale across the world. If you can afford to buy the people who can ensure that you become the president, then you become the president. But at the end of the day, the population who is like the mother in this case will know that it's not your time to be breastfed, but it's the time for somebody else to be breastfed. So again, that's what this first takeaway could mean. You can interpret it in many, many different ways. Number 2, take care of yourself so you can take care of your baby. If the mother has not eaten, if she has not had enough water, if she has not fed herself, she cannot feed her baby. So again, in many, many cases, even if you're pursuing an opportunity and you're hydrated, you're mentally not stable, you're not ready, then you should actually pause and get ready. Prepare yourself in order for you to help others. There's a saying that hurt people. So you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, the third takeaway here is relax and enjoy this special time with your new child. Again, this proverb is primarily focusing about the mother and the child. But African proverbs go further than that. This is just to get you to pause what you're doing and pay attention and know that there's a lesson to be learned here. But what is it that our ancestors are saying with this proverb? They're saying that once you get that breast milk, breast milk is critical for the survival of a child, and children who are fed breast milk for the longest time end up being healthier. So what we are learning here is that you should relax and enjoy this special time with your child. And again, if it is an opportunity that you are pursuing and you've got it, if it's a grant you are applying for and you applied for multiple grants, you could not get them, the timing was not right, and eventually you get it, you should relax and enjoy it. You should savor the moment that you have been fighting for. So with that, as the usual clubhouse structure for the daily African proverb is, we normally invite comments from the audience so that we can hear the interpretations of this proverb from our other audience members besides me and besides my team that came up with these 3 takeaways. Every day when we gather here, we bring these proverbs, we bring the takeaways that you can put somewhere in your toolkit that can support you whenever you need the support emotionally or mentally, that these proverbs can help you with. When you need some wisdom to overcome a challenge, that's when I personally normally look for these African proverbs. And so I really want to thank you for listening, and I want to ask you, if you're listening on Clubhouse, make sure you also subscribe to the African Father in America podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon, Amazon podcast, on Spotify podcast. We are all over the podcasting world, and we have over 120,000 downloads, almost 150,000 downloads really, and we have over 200 episodes recorded since last year January. So we take this work very, very seriously. Now I also want to urge you to follow me on Instagram if you want to engage with me directly. That's the best place to stay connected with me. At Okelo Javan is my handle. For now, I want to quickly create space for Lavender and also Dr. No Days Off, 2 of my amazing friends and supporters. Lavender actually works together with me at One Vibe Africa and also One Vibe Media. And Dr. No Days Off is a great, great friend. He's been a guest of mine. He's a leadership coach and he runs a few companies here in the US. So Lavender, just take a moment, introduce yourself and let us know where you're joining us from, and also what today's proverb means to you. A child does not teach how to breastfeed. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone. Simon, please confirm.
Okay, Lavender. I missed the last part of what you said, but I think you said I should come back to you, right?
Oh, can you hear me?
I hear you very well, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Lavender. I'm from Kenya, speaking from Seattle, Washington. Uh, Today's proverb: a child does not teach how to breastfeed. What comes to mind is uh, for parents, when you bring a child into this world, just the way a child is not uh, how to breastfeed, there are things in life that the child has to learn on their own. Um, you'll do as much as you can as a parent, but there are ways like uh, how they want to identify themselves, which way or which path they decide to take for themselves. This relies or lies upon them. Uh, so for me, a child does not teach how to breastfeed, um, is there are walks in life that you have to take alone. Thank you, Simon, for the opportunity to share.
Fantastic, Lavender. Thank you for being here. I deeply appreciate it. And for those who are just joining us, there are many of you who I am familiar with, and I want to just quickly give you all a shout out from Alton, Ayo. I see Roger, and I see Latanja, Osaka, and Raf and Kevin, and who else is here? And I see Akati. You're all welcome. I love building community through this process. And I also see Ayo has joined me on YouTube. Thank you so much. Ayo says that it's been a long time. Glad to be back on Clubhouse after a very long time. I'm loving the discussion. Thank you, Simon, for this. Of course, you're welcome. And I want to see some of your work too. You are an amazing creator and film producer, and I would love to just build with you off of the daily African proverbs and learn how you have been. I want to hear from you. Dr. Node is off, and maybe we can bring one other person on the stage. So the hand raising is currently on. I shared earlier that I'm doing the daily African proverbs just for 30 minutes for now, and then I'm taking the other 30 minutes and doing the daily African proverbs on TikTok, because I want to test whether I can build the same audience that we've built on Clubhouse on TikTok as well. So while doing the Clubhouse version of the daily African proverbs every day, I will also be live streaming on YouTube for 30 minutes. So you'll be able to catch the whole program. We are just tightening it and making it short and sweet. And also, as you know, podcasts get better engagement when it's shorter than 30 minutes. I've been producing podcasts for like 2 years now. And I helped a university here in the US start their podcast from scratch. So I'm very, very keen on growing this podcast, the African Father in America podcast, and also teaching other people what I have learned in the process. So if you want to be much more exposed to podcasting professionally, connect with me and follow the African Father in America Club on Clubhouse, and just DM me directly on Instagram and let me know if you want to gain access to some of the resources that I have. My team and I are actually working on a book about podcasting, and it's going to be a free book that we will just be giving out to people. So I want to build a small community of people that can take a deep dive into it before we release it to the public. So that's again one of the things we've been working on during this time that we've been away. And we did a successful Madaraka festival that was also covered by CNN. This Sunday and Saturday, I was on CNN multiple times actually. So if you want to catch that feature on CNN, you can go to Africa Avagand on the CNN website, and you'll be able to watch the whole show. Again, if you want to be a guest on the Daily African Proverbs, the days that we have guests are the days that I might be staying on Clubhouse for an hour and then going to TikTok for 30 minutes. So I'm just sharing these, these details because I haven't been doing the Daily African Proverbs for a while. And so I just want everybody to refamiliarize themselves with the process, as I am also doing that in real time today. So Dr. Node is off. How are you? Thank you for your support. I hope you and your family are well. Share with us your perspectives on the proverb.
All right, Simon, how you doing? Being super fantastic over here on this side. We're doing super fantastic. So I appreciate you even asking for that. Definitely, I look at this proverb. When I saw this proverb, I was just thinking metaphorically that this is basically a student and a teacher process, right? And you get that a lot with a younger generation, or you get that a lot with even people within your generation. Um, it's one of the things that I learned in business and I teach in leadership all the time is, everybody cannot be the chief. Everybody has a place in a certain environment, right? So you don't come into a certain environment. Like, I'm not going to walk into Simon's environment and automatically start teaching Simon something, because I'm the child. I'm the child in his environment. So I need to learn, and that's what Simon is there to do, is to teach me, because that is his environment, or that's the environment that he is the subject matter guide for, right? So when it comes to a child breastfeeding, it's the same concept. A child doesn't tell the mother how to do it. The mother teaches the child how to do it. And that's basically this proverb is basically, letting us know that, we have to be children, or we have to be babies sometime. It just depends on the situation, the circumstances. We don't come into every environment, every situation, every circumstance knowing exactly what to do. We have to learn. We have to sit back and we learn. And one of the keys to being highly successful in business, one of the keys to being highly successful is you have to keep a student-like mindset, right? You have to be a learner at all times. You always have to be learning. And I break it down, and I'm going to end it like this. I break it down. I always say you have to learn before you earn. So before you can earn that nutrient, for a baby can earn the nutrients that the mother is willing to provide, the baby has to learn first. Back to you, Simon.
I love that. I love that. You have to learn in order for you to earn, and in order for the baby to gain the nutrients, they have to learn how to be patient. They have to learn so much, and it's funny though, because I've been in situations where the baby is also mad. The baby feels like this is the time that I need to be breastfed. And then the mother delays and controls and manages the situation as best as they can. But then eventually when the baby is breastfed, they bite the breast that is feeding them, and a fight ensues, So I just wanted to share that, to bring in some humor, and also to relate this to real life. Sometimes we work so hard, we look for opportunities, and then eventually we get this thing that we've been looking for, but we are so not ready for it that we end up screwing it, So I want you to think about, how do you avoid that? How do you avoid that? I want to welcome Latanja, who is also another amazing contributor to the Daily African Proverbs, and also the African Wisdom Club that we built here years ago. Well, like a year and a half ago on Clubhouse. It's no longer active. We will be reactivating it very, very soon. But Latanja, when you hear this proverb from South Sudan that says, a child does not teach how to breastfeed, what comes to your mind?
Thank you, Simon, and congratulations on your remarkable achievement with your festival. I say that oftentimes in life, we become our natural selves by learning the natural rhythms of life. It's a knowing, it's a growing, it's a sowing. So we evolve because of those critical stages in our beginning moments. And so that's what this proverb brings up for me. It just shows you how vulnerable that we are in those beginning moments, and we become who we are because of that. And I yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Latanja. Now that we are back, I would love to have you as a guest, as we envisioned. I have got my rest. I have no more excuses. I'm ready. So whenever you're ready, just grab another date through the same link. And again, I would love to have you again as a guest. Dr. No Days Off, whenever you're ready. And if you're listening and you want to be a guest on my podcast, let me know through Instagram. Just send me a direct message on Instagram. If you know somebody else that needs to be a guest on the African Father in America podcast, also let me know through Instagram, and we will make that happen. For now, I just want to let you all know that we are ending in about 3 minutes. We are tightening the amount of time that we are spending here for the Daily African Proverbs, and it means a lot that you're all here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, the link is at the top of the Clubhouse room. If you're on YouTube watching and enjoying this show and you have not subscribed, this is a good way for you to support. You can do that now, and also share the link to the YouTube live stream whenever you have a moment. Now, I just want to welcome my next guest. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Akati, and correct me if I didn't do it right.
Thank you, Simon. Yeah, that's all good. Thank you very much. Yeah, there is too many people that they have trouble to pronounce my name, but it's Akati. That's great pronunciation. Thank you again for having me on the stage. What comes to my mind when I read your topic, that we are, as human, we always learn new things. We never give up. As long we are alive and we are able to learn, we have to learn new things. Just as a child that learn how to feed himself, or the mother will teach him how to feed himself as a breastfeeding. The thing that I got from your topic, that we never give up. We have to learn. We have to be patient. We have to put effort. We have to spend some time there to be able to learn new skills and knowledge. So this is our life, and we have to learn new thing every single day. And that's how I do at the moment for myself. I just learn new thing from in terms of reading books, or in terms of new skills, and something like that, or in terms of just there is materials there online, like even right now this topic here on Clubhouse, your topic will teach thousands and thousands of people that new thing. So because I know that your topic is posting on different platforms such as YouTube and Instagram, something like that. Before I finish my my speech, I want to ask you a question, that what topic that you are interested in? Like right now you're talking about this topic, but I'm not quite sure what topic that you discuss. Like you discuss like African affair topic, or just in general, or something like that. And then I want to find out what topic that you are interested in. Thank you.
Thank you, Akati, for your contribution. And for just taking your time and having the courage to jump on stage and also contribute your voice. The topic that I am interested in, or the theme of this show that I have been hosting since January 2021, is really African wisdom, ancestral wisdom. And we do that through Proverbs, because African Proverbs are words that were spoken by African people long time ago, and they are found in books. They are found through oral traditions, through stories, through conversations like this. They are found online. They are found, in many different places. But the problem is that African people are also adapting Western culture, and people are assimilating. I live in Seattle, Washington, which is very, very far away from where most of my ancestors are buried. And so my children might not understand my culture unless I introduce it through these proverbs, which I can use to teach them every day. I spend a lot of time with my children when we go through challenges, or when we go through great moments. If you put a proverb in that moment to educate them, they will never forget that. For example, my mother used to teach us discipline, or kindness, or warn us with these proverbs. Many times when we did something bad to, let's say, our neighbor, or even my own sibling, she would remind us that when you do good, you do it for yourself. When you do bad, you also do it for yourself. I could not forget that. And my children now tell each other this same proverb that my mother used so many times. And this proverb exists in my mother tongue. But now we talk about it in English, and we are able to also teach you who probably has never been to Africa, or you would not understand my mother tongue until this moment where I'm sharing with you a proverb that only exists in my mother tongue. But now, because the children from my children need to understand my culture so that they become stronger people wherever they are. They become people with self-esteem. They become people who understand who they are. It's important that they understand their culture. And why that is important is because if you look at President Barack Obama, if he was not taught about his culture, he would have never gone back to Kenya before he became the president. Long before he was even a senator, he went and spent time as a teenager in Kenya, in the village, where he learned a lot about himself, And his father, who was living in the US as myself, did a lot of work in order for him to remember that one day when I can afford an air ticket, I need to go back to the motherland. And so that's the motivation here, so that we can now take these proverbs further. We can record them on video. We can record our conversations where children of Africa, African Americans, Afro-Brazilians are talking about African proverbs. So we are also bringing African people globally together, but also uniting the human race. Because when you think about wisdom, we have wisdom in the Chinese culture, in the Arab world. Every part of the world there is wisdom, and that is where human beings connect. And this is what mainstream media does not really do a good job. And now that's our job to fill that gap. I hope that was helpful. And that is going to...
Thank you very much. That's great. That's a good explanation. I got it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now I want to welcome Stella, who is another member of the One Vibe Media team. Stella, how are you doing? I haven't heard your voice on this platform in a long time, so you're going to wrap up the session for us before we move on to TikTok, where we're just going to talk about the recap of how the session here was, and we're just going to build the community and bring some of those people to this session, and slowly by slowly, some of you might also join us there. I remember earlier on, maybe 8 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, I can't remember exactly, Dr. Node is off, who is here, and myself, we would end this session and then go to Wisdom. Wisdom is a smaller app that is exactly like Clubhouse, and it was started by an African woman who lives in the UK. You should check it out actually if you have time. And we would just have a much more slower paced conversation and be able to reflect on how this time was. So that's what we are doing on TikTok, and I want you to join us there if you can. Hey Stella, I'll pass you the microphone.
Hi Simon, hi everyone. This is Stella from Kenya. I'm happy that you are here today to resume daily African proverbs. But I'm in a very noisy place, so I just want to listen, and then I'll also join TikTok later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella. One of my favorite things with the daily African proverbs is also always listening to the background noises from each person's location. And I always love asking people, where are you joining us from? And how are you doing? Because for me, this is also really, really authentically building a community with people. There are people that have told me that, hey, Simon, I stopped seeing my therapist because of the daily African proverbs. And I asked why. And, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, someone I respect, someone who is much older than me, he says, because you're consistent, because, the show is accessible to me every day. I know that I'll be there at 6 a.m. PST and I'll find the show going on. And the insights, the conversations, the kind of people just make me feel like this is therapy. I was surprised. I didn't expect such a thing. So I just want to encourage you to know that this is a safe space. The kind of work we do here is something that we hold to high esteem, and so feel free to connect with me if you want to be a part of this movement, if you want to help improve what we do. Also DM me on Instagram. With that, we've come to the tail end of our time together, and I want to encourage you to make sure you connect with someone else that you're seeing around you right now, especially on Clubhouse. But if you're watching on YouTube, I encourage you to make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks a lot.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.